What's up, everyone? My name is Tim. I'm a C5 quadriplegic since 2003, and I want to do a video about how I do my colostomy wafer and my colostomy bag change, and I'll show you guys all the products I use in doing that as well. But before we jump into it, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and hitting that notification bell, it lets you know when I do my uploads, and you're welcome to hit that thumbs up. That way it lets the world know I exist and helps the algorithm out and all that good YouTube stuff. So colostomy is a surgical procedure where they take a piece of the colon and they divert it through an artificial opening in the abdomen wall, as to bypass a damaged part of the colon or the rectum. So around 2016, 2017, I noticed I was having trouble doing my bowel routine, whether it was I was constipated, impacted, or, I would get out of the shower and finish my routine. I'd get up in my chair and I'd have an accident. And that was happening more and more, and just because I wasn't done going, and I would take laxatives the night before, and then to counteract the laxative, I would take an anti-diarrhea pill the next day. And I was like killing my body from the inside, and it just wasn't good. And I didn't feel good. I felt ill. I looked horrible, and I just felt sick the whole next day, and it kind of ruined the whole day. I weighed my options, and I started watching videos about colostomies, and I reached out to a couple quads that also have colostomies, and they said that they've never been happier with the change that they made, and they wouldn't go back. So I finally decided to do it. The day after my birthday, June 19th, 2020, I went in and had the procedure done. The recovery was tough because I was in such pain. But once I started to learn everything that I needed to learn with changing the bag and the wafer and all that, my life has been great since. My bowel routine is cut way down. Before, I had to do like 2 to 3 hours of digital stimulation, and that was getting like really painful, and I would start to bleed and stuff like that, and it really was. So after I healed up and everything, I started to lose a little bit of weight, and everybody said that I look so much healthier. I feel healthier. I just feel good overall. And to be honest, I wouldn't go back to the way it was before. It sucked, to be honest. So yeah, I want to show you how I changed the wafer in the bag, and if you have any questions, just leave a comment, and I'll try my best to answer them the best I can. And I'll leave a list of the products I used in the description box below, so you guys can see all the cool stuff I use. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. I'm going to give you a rundown of the products I use to do my wafer and colostomy bag change. So what I use is the Safe and Simple Peristoma Cleanser and Adhesive Remover. And the beginning I was using the barrier wipe, and it actually made me break out really bad. I actually thought it was the wafer that was making me break out, but by mistake I accidentally forgot to use it one time, and it actually made it look better. So by mistake, it helped me figure out that I was allergic to it. And I also use rubber gloves and just staying clean in the process. The waterproof underpad, because I rinse with a squirt bottle, and it's kind of pretty cool. It squirts like all different ways, so it's like a nice little rinse bottle. And I use the Adapt Medical Adhesive Remover Spray. It's like an aerosol spray. It actually works really well. The wafer actually almost like melts off. It works awesome. I use the Convatec brand bag and wafer. I use the 1 3/4, which is the size of the hole, is what they call the flange. And I use the Convatec bag as well. I use the, I guess it's opaque. I think it's an 8-inch bag, and it's not see-through. Some prefer see-through. I do not. To me, I was getting smell through that bag, so I stopped using it. And this wafer is actually moldable, but it comes with a hole, but I actually do measure a little bit bigger, and I cut out just a little bit more than my stoma size. And I do it with a little stencil too, and it's I use 29 millimeters, and I draw a circle, and then I cut it out with the scissors. I use the Dial Spring Water body wash. I know they say not to use body wash or anything like that, or just use bar soap, but to me it was making it less the body wash would make my skin more dry feeling, and it would actually adhere better when I would put the wafer on. So I stopped using the bar soap and I swapped to the Dial body wash. And then I use, when I put the wafer on, if there's a little bit of a gap, I use the Adapt wafer paste. And I actually put it above my wafer and not below. Some people, actually probably most people, put it below around the stoma circle that they cut out or whatever. But I like to do it above, and to each their own. So do whatever your doctor recommends. Don't do what I say. And I also use a soft rag. I try to go with something not abrasive. My stoma gets a little bit sensitive feeling after I wash it, so I try to go with something a little bit softer. And then my paper towels I use just to clean any of the stool off of it or lay it down to absorb more water if need be. And then when I'm finished up, I use a hair dryer just to kind of make it a little bit quicker to dry the skin around where my wafer is going to stick, and so you have like a nice dry surface to stick to. And then last but not least, I use a grocery bag to put everything in, and I will show you that whole process in 1 second. So I'm going to give you a rundown of how I cut out my stoma hole in my wafer. And it comes with these tabs on both sides. The back side is sticky, and then that's the side I make my markings on. I don't want to use the pen marks on the other side because it'll like puncture the hole. And it's kind of like a jelly like substance. I don't know how to explain it, but you just draw your hole, and I use 29 millimeters. Everybody's is different. No stoma is the same. And I actually nicknamed it John Stomas. And you just take the scissors, and they have a slight bend on them. I need to get a better pair, but for now these work. And like I said, I don't chop off a lot because the size it comes in and the size I need is not very far in between, so just snip off just a sliver. And like I said, if I ever have to where there's too much gap, I use the wafer paste around it, because I use my irrigation. I'm going to do a separate video on that. And when I do my irrigation, I like to make sure that no water is getting in between the skin and the wafer, so that paste helps block that. And then once your circle is cut out, it's set and ready to go. And in the morning, I will change out my wafer and my bag, and we're ready to go for another few days. And like I said, can you hold that up here? It's the Natura, no, just the package. A little bit closer. The Natura 1 3/4. That's the size of the whole flange itself where the bag clips on. So Convatec, I've so far trust their products and it works for me. So whatever works for you, go with. But I like the products. So all right, guys, we'll see you on the wafer change. All right, first we glove up. Grab a grocery bag, slide it underneath the colostomy bag for any stool that may fall. Grab the colostomy bag, and you hold down on the wafer just so you don't want to pull that wafer up. Sometimes there'll be stool underneath there, but since I've been doing the irrigation, I don't really get a whole lot of stool coming out in between. I place a paper towel over the stoma hole just in case too. You never know when something might pop out. Adhesive remover spray, adhesive remover wipes, and you don't want to pull up too hard on the wafer. You want to keep that skin nice and intact. You just give a little bit of spray underneath the corner that you peeled up, or if you can peel up a corner, and it almost melts off. It works phenomenal. That spray is amazing. Like I said, don't pull too hard, but just a little firm pull just to pull that wafer up off there. You want to keep that skin nice and intact and thick. Now we give a little bit of wipe around with the adhesive remover wipe. You can kind of see the glue up under there that I use in between. A little bit of excess glue we try to wipe off. A wet napkin to wipe off the excess spray. Onto the Dial body wash. A soft rag. You want to wipe very gently around the stoma especially. And then I do a good rinse after I wash it. And I do that twice. I wash, rinse, just to make sure I got everything. It's nice and clean. Dab it with a dry paper towel onto the blow dryer on the cool setting only because, you know, I'm awesome. And then I clean out any mucus or any stool that may be just lingering. You want to make sure the stoma looks nice and beefy red. That's what they want. You don't want it too pale or too dark. Onto the wafer. And there's the back side of the wafer. And the circle that we cut out. And the little pull tab. And you can actually mold the inside if it's a little bit looking jaggedy. You just give it a little press. Do a test fit. Looks good. Peel off the backing. It's nice and sticky. It's almost like a jelly feeling substance. You want to get the right angle. Stick her down. Nothing sexier than a snug fitting wafer. You peel off the sticky backing. Press it down. Other side. Press it down. Looking good. Adapt stoma paste onto the colostomy bag. Here's the back side with the opening and the charcoal filter on the other side. And these are the pull tabs you want to use when you remove it. And this inner circle goes around the circle of the wafer, and it's just like a Tupperware lid. If you think about a Tupperware lid, how sometimes it snaps down. You want to kind of give it like a nice firm press. Not too hard, but sometimes you'll hear that click, sometimes you don't. We just make sure we press all the way around it. Give it a nice slide press. You can do like a test tug. Press again. And I always have them double check to make sure it looks like it's sealed too after we press. Don't want any leakage. And then a little bit of press for heat. Get that wafer to stick. And we're good to go. Alright, so I want to show the bins I got. A friend of mine actually gave them to me. And luckily they work perfect in my shelf here for my ostomy supplies. So in this one I have like the rubber gloves. And I keep like the underpads and things like that in the bin. The paste. And I went through a bunch of like odor eaters or odor cover, whatever you want to call them. The liquid, I don't think they really worked honestly, but I will show you a product that I do use occasionally. You know, when I have an important function, I want to put one of those in there. But then in the other bin, I keep my wafers and my pouches and things like that in there. And then grab the diamonds out. So these diamonds I discovered in my blow dryer. So these they call them diamonds. What it is, hold it closer, right there. It's a little gelling and odor control, and it's just a little packet that you put inside the bag. You don't dump it in or anything, you just drop one in. And it's like those oxygen things you get like in your shoes and stuff like that. It's essentially one of those, and it kind of helps get rid of the smell a little bit. And they actually do work a little bit. So if you want to check those out, I'll leave those. I'll link to those in the description as well. But yeah, so those are my bins, and they work really well. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you how I tape my bag up before I get in the shower. I don't really like to get my bag wet. Some people get in the shower without anything on, period, or they get in with just a bag. I don't like to get moisture in behind the little white outer area, because it's kind of hard to dry all that moisture before or after. So what I do is I take press and seal with what I call wiener tape, and I tape around the press and seal with the tape, and it kind of keeps the water from going inside behind the wafer, the outer sticky of the wafer. All right, go ahead and grab a piece. And then what I do is I fold the bag in half so there's less surface area to cover. All right, so what I do is I fold the bag up. I'll kind of hold on to it. And then I take the press and seal and go over top of that. And I just go right to the edge, so it covers just the bag and the outer portion of the sticky of the wafer. Because the wafer, even throughout the day, it starts coming up around the outside, and I have to use what's called wafer glue. It is skin safe, and I'll show you how I add that in a little bit. And I go half on the press and seal, and I go half on my skin.
I'm gonna go up on top.
I know it seems a little overkill, but it's so much easier doing it this way than to try and dry it after the fact and worry about getting moisture in behind there. One piece on the bottom, and then we're ready to shower. Alright, so what I would do where it's peeling up on this top corner, sometimes it's a little bit more, but from putting that tape on, it kind of came up just a little bit. So I'm going to add a little bit of this Torbot, a little farther away, bonding cement. It is skin safe. It is made for like wafers and skin. I'll take that on a Q-tip and I'll run it up underneath the outer edge of the wafer, just because it's not pulled up quite so much. But I'll do this throughout the few days that I wear it. If I notice it's coming up on a corner or the side, you just run the Q-tip right up and under, or the brush, whatever it may be that you're using, and then you just take your fingers and you just push down on it. Stuff works great. That's pretty much my wafer change video, guys. So I want to thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and if you're not already subscribed, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments section below, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.